Hey, the name's Alex, and I am some bad beat scrub. I'm here today playing Warhammer Total War 2. For some crazy reason, I thought maybe someone might like to watch me play. I was watching some Let's Plays at work. I really enjoy having something like that in the background while I work, and I thought, you know what, I could do that. And so I decided to strike out on my own. So if you're here to post in the comments about how I'm bad at the game and should feel bad, I'm welcome to your helpful criticisms. If you're here to help me drown out through your workday, I am happy to oblige. Or if you're here to watch someone play the game that you can't afford because it costs like hundreds of frickin' dollars to buy this game, the first game and all the expansions in order to get the full campaign experience, I feel your pain. So without further ado, I decided to look at the Lord Gorrock. I have not played in the Lizard Folk in a while. Although I did have a pretty long-term campaign with Crocker over here. But I decided to go with this guy because I enjoy quality units. Lizard Folk have some of the best infantry in the game. I've not played in this little region of the map down here in what is pseudo-South America, I guess. And I think they're really fun. So, without further ado, let's talk about what they got. I am playing on Mortal Empires, which uses the entirety of the maps from the two different games. In doing so, it does limit the amount of cities. If you look at a just a normal, using only the Total Warhammer 2 factions, Ulthuan I know has a lot more cities in it, and in general the map is more populated, so as you kind of zoom out, you lose some of the detail in the clusters of cities. But I feel that overall this has a much grander experience, and it feels like a complete world as opposed to arbitrarily half of a world. Lizard Folk have the Geomantic Web, which is a unique racial ability. It kind of connects your cities and can boost the power of commandments and things like that you do. They have access to blessed variants of the units, which is kind of like the legendary units for other factions that you can get sometimes. I think Units of Renown is what those are called. And you get to play with frickin' dinosaurs, which is honestly the best thing. Your basic infantry are Saurus guys, like Mr. Gorrock, you see him acting out here in the middle of the screen, which are pretty frickin' dope. But outside of those, they have actual dinosaurs, like Bastillodons, which are pretty much Ankylosaurus, good old T-Rex-like looking things, I forget what they're called. They have a different name for all of them. And then there's smaller units are these little skink boys, which are kind of like a smaller version of the Saurus units. With regards to Gorrock, it looks like most of his focus is on the Saurus versions. He has a higher recruit rank for the Scar veterans, minus 20% upkeep for all Saurus units, and he's all about defense. So he has a special right that makes unbreakable on defense bonuses for his Saurus units. He starts the game with control of Lord Crook. I have no idea what that is, but we're gonna find out. Sounds interesting, pretty froggy. And then his Lord effects, he gets +5 melee defense to the entire army whenever we're in friendly territory, and physical resistance 20% when defending against sieges for the Lord's army. So he's all about defense. But you know what, I think if we take more territory, we can then defend that territory and make the best use of those. So I don't know if I'm going to end up camping in the bottom of the corner in this map. We'll have to look and see what our victory conditions are and what all makes sense. I try to play the characters that I play when I do these. I don't just do what I would do. I try to think, what would Gorrock do? And Gorrock seems really concerned with protecting the jungle. We'll see what the beginning things for that say. I'm playing on normal difficulty because, like I said, I'm a bad beat scrub. I'm by no means the best person to ever play this game. I'm far from it. But I do enjoy playing Total War games. I have since Rome. And I'm looking forward to jumping in. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and do that.
Rise, great white lizard. The children of Itza are in need of your martial might, for the enemies of Lostria encroach upon sacred land. The Skaven of Pestilence lurk around Ashlotl, threatening to unleash a virulent attack upon your most important temple city, Itza. They must be exterminated. The twisted, dark elf admiral, known as Lokia Fellheart, has also landed on our shores, seeking to pillage holy sites. To the south is the baleful plague lord, Skrolk. The Skaven are a common enemy of you and the dwarfs. but it remains to be seen whether the Dawi will march from the safety of their mountain holds. You are a creature wholly purposed for war, mighty one. War which you must bring to all invaders. For you are the rock upon which Itza's enemies shall be broken.
Yeah, we gotta get all these stupid freaking rat people out of our rainforest. Alright, let's do it. Itza stands out like a lightning rod in a world of darkness, forging a bond of immeasurable strength between Gorok and the venerable Lord Croak, defender of Itza. The great white lizard may perform the rite of resilience. I think Lord Croak is his floating boy. So we'll see what he has going on. Yeah. Take some settlements, okay. Yeah, he's their equivalent of a wizard. That's what the kind of like frog-based units seem to be. Let's look at his skill tree. Get out of here. Supreme Shield. It looks like he can spawn units. He's got some healing abilities. So he's just an extra legendary lord, which is nice that we start with 2. Go ahead and jump in the Lord's armor there. Ooh, I have 2 options. I can either increase replenishment or increase my experience. I'm going to go with replenishment because I'm impatient and I don't like waiting for more units to spawn. So let's see what we got. We got Itza, which is our only city. Yes, our only city. To level 1, as they always are. First thing you do in any game, upgrade that baby to a level 2. You get better garrisons, better income, better literally everything. Access to buildings and so forth. So we got growth and casualty replenishment, or income. This is going to give me access to some technologies. I try to, when you're looking at the cities, you notice how much bigger Itza is. I try to keep the settlements I build there either area-specific ones, like these first 2, or ones that can benefit from it getting into higher levels. Because if I were to try to build, so for example, if I try to build the geometric pylons in one of the smaller cities, I wouldn't be able to build 5, and well, I think that might be a bad example because that might only be the capitals. But, okay, here's a good example. If I were to build this Old One monument in Oxlotl, I wouldn't be able to build the final version of the settlement because they cap out at tier 3. So I try to stay away from the ones, conversely, in the big city that cap out at relatively small, usually excluding income, because a good economy is a good game, to avoid that. So I'll probably wait and see what happens with Xlotl here to determine what I'm going to build after that. Here are the Dawi he was talking about. The dwarves. That's not habitable terrain for me, so I mean I don't super begrudge them having that unless they get testy. So yeah, I've really got this pestilence as my first problem, and then I think around here is going to be my Dark Elf problem, and then once we deal with that, we can look and see what's going on to our north and south. I'll go ahead and give you guys first taste of combat. Oh, you're gonna run away. I'm like 80% sure that city has people in it. So, since he ran away, I'm gonna go ahead and fall back and recruit some units before I jump in that. So we got spears or sword. Oh, maces. Spears or maces. Looks like spears have more defense and also obviously are better against a large, whereas the other guys are slightly better at melee attack. I've already got 2 spear units. I'm dealing with Skaven, which don't typically have a lot of early large units because they're rats, although rat ogres are nasty. So I'll go ahead and build some of those. And I like rage units. I know that we have bonuses for using our Our Saurus units, we have better upkeep and costs and everything like that, but not having any range units is going to be a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and build a skink pit, or whatever that was called, to get some of the range units. Looks like their tech trees are completely building based, so it'll be a while before we get into those. Who can we trade with? This is something that people always forget to do in their early turns, and you really shouldn't, because it's important. Oh, we can trade with the dwarves. How do you feel about trading dwarves?
Yes.
I could do military access, and if I was trying to ally with them, that'd be a good first move. I don't feel like Gorok's first response is going to be like, hey, come walk all over my holy sites. So we're not going to do that. It looks like that was our last overland trade. But they have more trade goods than the other lizard folk in the area do anyways, so I'm not going to lose sleep over that. Our economy is pretty small right now, so we're going to need to capture a city or build some resource buildings soon. Okay. We've got some extra units. I'm curious. I want to know what's in Axolotl. I don't think I can afford to sit around and build an army. Aha! It's Skaven. By the way, if you see empty cities like this and you know that your Skaven corruption's high, it's probably actually a Skaven city. I would just assume that and be pleasantly surprised otherwise. I could auto-resolve this, but I like losing as few units as possible, and I want to have a game early, or a battle early in my video, so we're going to go ahead and just jump into that so you can see what lizard folk units look like on the field if you don't know already, or enjoy watching them stomp some Skaven into the ground if you do. Lots of woods, which is good that we don't have range units. We have this javelin thrower, but woods can mess up range strategies. Looks like there's a hill in the center of the map that'll be good to claim early. Get that height advantage. As far as what we're dealing with, they have 2 units. I think those guys on the end there can like have slings or something. So we want to be careful of those. And we can see what kind of spells our wizard's cooking. Honestly, though, our average melee unit beats their average melee unit in the fight, and we outnumber them. So there's just, like the forecast said, it'd be very difficult for me to lose this. Yes. That does look like a city that Skaven have totally corrupted. Okay, so first thing I do at the beginning of every battle is I just tell my units to go off in a corner so I can deal with how I want to actually deploy them. I want to get my javelins up on this hill early because that's where they're going to be the most effective. We'll give them spears because their spears are less effective against infantry. They're not ineffective by any means. They're probably still better than the Skaven in a straight fight. But they'll kind of act as a shield for the skinks, and then I'll use my other boys as like an ambush because I think I can stealth in these trees. Can I stealth in these trees? Force. Reduces speed of combat efficiency and allows some units to hide. Maybe they're just incapable of hiding. No, they did there. Those just aren't thick enough. Oh yeah, you gotta be in the thick of these. Okay, new plan. We can't hide in the trees. I'm gonna keep the shield guys on reserve because I'd like them to stick around. And then have units on the right and left flank. So the idea here is to draw them into a situation. They're going to want to flank our main lines, which are going to be our spear guys here with the javelins. And when they do, they're going to have guys that are kind of like outriding on the flanks. It makes it that the AI always wants to flank you, so making their lives difficult with that is generally a good strategy. What kind of spells we got? This guy has Cold-Blooded, which just ups leadership. He can cast something that gives himself a lot of physical resistance, so he's going to be really tough to kill. He has the same Cold-Blooded, Supreme Shield of the old ones, Self-Ally, a bunch of damage resistance. So once again, focusing on defense. Let's see what spells we're cooking with. Explosion that does not affect friendly troops. Nice, because friendly fire is normally a thing. Strong versus a single unit, weak against armor. Interesting that it'd be a large explosion area and also strong against a single unit. Explosion that does not affect friendly troops. Causes massive magical damage, huge exploding area. This one's the one that's strong against multiple units. Oh, I see. He can just jack it up to different levels. So this one uses 7, 13, and we use literally our entire magic resources. We get one that is huge, good against armor, and strong against multiple units. I might just do that once we get fighting and like blow the crap out of these Skaven. So let's see how we do. Step 1. Get these guys up on the high ground before they do. Number 1 tip for playing this game: use your spacebar like this to see where enemy units, or where all your units are aligned. It also gives you information on enemy units. I find that very useful for making battle lines in pieces. Here, we'll kind of give them a friend, so you can tell where your units are moving to. We're going to come up here and take this hill and then see what they are trying to do after that. I try to walk units whenever possible, especially since they backed off here at the beginning. That means that they're just going to let me take whatever positioning I want, and there's no sense in tiring out my units. If I get impatient, I can always quadruple the time, so I'm going to move up and take the hill. Yeah, they got missile infantry. Those will be annoying because they will try to run away from me. So let's do this. Let's make them nervous and see how they respond. And I can kind of afford to do this just because I honestly think I could take a 2-on-4 battle with their infantry. It's kind of risky having your units spread out like this. But the CPU is probably going to freak out thinking it's flanked. Which, to be fair, it is. And they're really just kind of being defensive, using this building so I can't just approach them from one area. So since my explosions don't damage friendly units, what I really want to do is just kind of lock them down in a big mob instead of spreading them out, which is why I'm going to pincer them here, and then have my wizard walk up and just explode them. I'm really excited to see. I'm going to definitely go for that maximum damage one because I want to see how good it can get. Also, we got a couple extra ones of magic here, it looks like. Okay. Looks like they're just letting me flank them. So I'm going to keep an eye on, see I'm using spacebar to see where the edge of their range is. And I'm going to go ahead and move up my spearmen here to threaten them, just out of their range. If they push and they're move their units up to try to get me with their slings, I'm just going to charge in. Because at this point I'm close enough that I can. Move these guys up here. I always like to keep one of my better units in reserve, just to have something to call upon if I get surprised by units that were hidden or something else going on. I have fresh good units to kind of throw at a part of the problem, because once infantry gets slogged down in a big fight, sometimes it can be hard to redeploy them. Looks like they're taking that bait, so you're gonna move in there. I'm gonna crash in on them there. It's good that they're attacking my shield units. Here, go ahead and come around here. See, it looks like they're trying to resist being in one place, which we expected. It's important to keep pressure on skirmishing units like that. Make sure to stay away. I think that's enough to test out my explosion here. Let's see what we're dealing with. Holy hell. That was gross. This is awesome. That's a good unit right there. So yeah, we look over here, see we ended up with, what, 2 units on 1 unit? And they're just getting eviscerated. They can't stand up to lizard folk in one-on-one combat, and it really shows. I'm really excited for this wizard, though. That was freaking dope. Looks like the skinks do not have a lot of ammo, because they are already almost out, and they, like, barely did anything there. Now I'm just going to have the problem of them out skirmishing me. Here, go ahead and just collapse on those guys. So how many wins magic ago? I got 16 left. So I could do this one twice, but it says it's strong against... Oh, a single unit. Okay. So, like, can I target the unit? No, I gotta target an area. So once they slow down, maybe I'll blast them from range. There it is. Nope, they already moved. Cancel that. Nope, can't cancel that. Will they be close enough? Probably not. That's annoying. This is why I like range units, though, for the record, in case you're wondering. There we go, caught half of them there. That's really nifty. That's gonna wrap up combats quickly. Oh, looks like he has a pretty decent range attack, too. Look at that. This guy is the bomb.com. What was that about? He's unbreakable. I don't know, but that was wicked. Oh, he causes fear. Nice. Frankly, I'd be afraid of a floating toad that could just blow up 3 units at once, too. Yeah, look at that guy got 303 kills. That's gross. And for the record, if I had auto-resolved that, my losses would be much more than 25. See, my units are virtually unscathed after that. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 25 losses when you have 162 dudes is not a big deal. And auto-recovery will pick up most of those. So, I probably will auto-resolve fights like that as the game goes on, just so we're not spending forever watching me just trounce easy combats. But especially in the early game, I try to avoid it. A, because it lets you kind of get used to your units and what you got going for you, and B, because it's good to keep up your unit health as much as you can, and the auto-resolve is a little generous with how many kills your opponents get. I'm going to occupy. Money would be nice, but I'm not trying to like start rebellions or anything early. Yes, we discovered that clan. Got a banner. Okay. And what's the last city? Sabaton. Where's Sabaton? Oh wow, I'm right up against them now. Okay. We're not at war yet. So while they've got to go, they don't got to go now. Of course, the one building Axolotl has is the one that I built in my capital, so we're just going to X that. That's obnoxious. We got some upgrades to hand out. Let's see what our boy has. I want to start with Route Marcher because it's very good, and it's good on almost any army. As far as the rest of these trees, though, you can make him good at personally fighting, the overall abilities, which are pretty good, or upgrade the units in his army. I'm usually pretty partial to upgrading his units because I think that has the greatest effect over the widest array of potential situations, although having a lord who's just better at fighting other lords can be really powerful. Typically, these top couple rows with the like one-time special upgrades are very good too, but I think like most of these blessings are exclusive of the other ones, and the kind of things that we pick at rank 10. So, got some time before we get there. But slowly, surely kicking out the damn rat folk out of my city. Why are my guys so upset? Conquest, yeah. So this is a good example of why I didn't loot and scoot. And go ahead and go to the next turn. I really wish I had and literally almost any other building, because I probably would have been happy with any of the tier 1 green buildings for resources. It's what I get for trying to have a diverse military. All the way out here. Okay. We'll deal with you later. If you look real close, I thought I saw over here somewhere, there's a Bastiladon in the map. I don't see it anymore, but keep your eyes out. They put a lot of detail into the overall map, and I really enjoy a lot of those. Okay, so let's see, what can we build in Oxlotl now that it's not... I always build the trade resources eventually if I can. I'm only trading with one person right now, so I'm not super worried about it. What's my trade income? 55? Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, that would increase it, but I think right now what we need to be doing is growing and getting people happy with us. So go ahead and make a food stockpile there. Get our army ready to mobilize on the last city of our province. Where's the border for Subaten? Up here? Yeah, because this is mine, right? Yes, it is. Okay. So I'll go ahead and move my army, their full range, and then recruit units. Keep the pressure on them. So I'll recruit on my way down there, but I really want to get in there as soon as I can. Why would I want to use these guys? They're aquatic, but otherwise worse in almost every single way. Including leadership, and that's some pretty decent starting leadership, 85. Not only are they good, but they'll fight for a long time before they run away, so. I think the only unit, or the only faction with better starting leadership is probably the Dwarves. Dwarven starting units are the defensive equivalent to Lizardfolk starting units. They're probably the best defensive units with their armor and shield ratings and leadership of any faction, just right out the gate at tier 1. Spotech or whatever. I'm surprised there's, I mean, honestly, anywhere there's mountains, doors pop up, but I'm surprised there's doors all the way down in this corner of the map. They are pretty far from any other dwarves. But if they go to war with the Skaven and help me out, I think eventually, what's my name? Gorok would be able to come to terms with being allied with them. And trading is certainly a good start, although it does look like there's more lizard folk on the other side of them. I can't really do much in the mountains anyways. Oxwell's the capital of this area here that the Dark Elves are probably trying to take over. Okay. Ooh, who got a rank up? Probably my wizard. Yes, it did. So let's see what our options are here. I'll be honest, I underuse wizards in most of my playthroughs, but after seeing that debut performance, I'm really excited to play with this guy. So this reduces the Winds of Magic cost. If I upgrade that, I didn't use that shield, but I could. Honestly, I want to keep upgrading those spells because those are going to like devastate combat. Okay, so we got some skinks. And the question I'm going to ask myself now is, can we get to the city? No. So because we can't get to the city, I'm going to go right up to the edge of my territory. And since we got pretty okay income, we're still at 1,000, I'm going to sneak in another turn of recruiting. These guys don't have a lot of ammo. They have abysmal ammo, in fact, only 3. But their missile damage is okay, it's also poisonous. So I'm not going to stack up too much on them, because once they get into melee, they're just not as good as my other units. I just think it's important to have a ranged option. So we'll go ahead and build more units, like I said before. Skaven don't have large units very early in the game, so we're just going to stick with sword guys for now. And we have a couple of spears if we need to counter something. Oh look, I built a building. Research the following items to advance. I can get recruitment cost minus 5% for skink and chameleon skinks. That would have been helpful a couple turns ago, but we'll surely be building more eventually. So we'll go ahead and upgrade that since it's our only option. There's no reason not to. I can build a thing in Itza. I can build a couple things in Itza. So let's see what we got. Got all my unit buildings. We're not high enough level for most of these. Public order. I'm probably going to need that, especially with the Skaven corruption. Yeah, and my character's about to leave, which means I have nothing contributing positive public order. So we're going to go ahead and get that built. That's going to be nasty pretty quick. And probably build something else next turn. Our economy is weak, so that really needs to be a focus here as we move forward, getting buildings. In any race I play, one of the things I strive to do is carve out a good starting province or two, deal with my immediate threats that I can't let fester, and then, especially if I'm in a corner on a map like this or somewhere easily defended, I just stay not at war with people for a while, as marvelous as that sounds, and max out my cities, try to get a strong economy going, and it can really make the late game, mid to late game, a lot easier when you have strong foundations, a store of gold built up, and that kind of core area to fall back on. So we're going to try to get settled here. I'm probably going to take on the Dark Elves relatively early because their late game units are freaking scary. But once I do, I'm not going to go attacking other lizard folk or dwarves just yet. I'm just going to sit here in my couple of provinces, upgrade buildings, and kind of get juiced up, and then see what Gorok would set his eyes on next. I'm thinking he would probably, if the other lizard folk factions are not doing a good job of keeping out foreigners, he would see that going to war with them is a necessary evil so he could more properly defend the Great Forest. You know, mental gymnastics to justify war. I'm American, so it comes naturally to me. Military access, and they're going to pay us. Ooh, what does Gorok think about this? I, personally, as a player, like it generally, if you're not trying to roleplay your character, I think this is great. It means that they're interested in being friends and they're willing to pay us, so they recognize that we're the dominant one in the relationship. However, who are they worth? They're not worth anyone. I'm going to counter off of them. All of this is great, but I'd like you to join my war against Clan Pestilence. See, they're not willing to do that, so Gorok will be like, listen, I don't have a problem with you being in your mountains necessarily, but unless you're going to be helping me scourge the forest of evils, I don't got much to say to you. Because what good's military access if they're not fighting the same people? What are they going to do? No, but in all seriousness, if you're not playing to play a character, that was a perfectly fine deal to accept. All right. Got population surpluses again, which is nice. Apparently can't use that population surplus. Don't know what the point of that is. So I could build. I got a couple different options. We got to do economy next. So this is, wow, 300. Oh, it's a gold mining pit. So that's probably going to be the best one because gold is definitely going to be higher income. Not all of the trade options, the special resources, give you really high just standard income. This does because you're literally digging up gold. But all of them definitely benefit your trade with other people. So like in my High Elves playthroughs, when I end up trading with like 15 different factions, every one you build gives you a ton of value, and it can really incrementally add up to a lot. Our income's getting pretty skimpy up there, but that's fine. We're about to complete our first province and go to town. So we are within fighting range now. See how I did that? Don't quite have a full stack, but I'm confident we can take out most modest Skaven forces we come across. And would you look at that? There's not even a Skaven force here, and I ironically don't have enough money to settle it. That's funny. Oof. Moderate oof. Okay, we're gonna search the ruins. Oh, I hate these puzzles. Taxes and treasures of the post. Solitude is always desired. Well, what's alone? This is the only purple guy. I failed the puzzle. Well, okay. Fuck me then, I guess. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to afford to colonize a place in a while, which means I might have to skip on over to Oxel and give that Clan Pestilence a 4. I was like, sure there was going to be Skaven in here. Oh, I can't do anything with that. Because, yeah, I think it was like, what, like 1100 or 1500? It's going to be a couple turns, so we're probably going to skip on over to Oxel next turn and give them a 4. Alright, Warpath time. That was a full stack of Skaven. I'd rather not engage them and that city at the same time. How much money do I need for this? 1,200. I could sit here another turn and have enough. But then I'd have to give up like 50% of my units and everything too. No, I'm gonna be aggressive. I feel like Lizardfolk would be aggressive. Maybe I can bait them into coming out here and attacking me. Do I know what's in there? Oh no, I don't want to talk to you. Get out of my face. I just wanted to look at your stack. Oh, they have artillery. What was that? Excuse me?
No, not for us.
Plague monks. Oh, this is going to be a more difficult army. I've got to be careful. I've got to be careful. Okay, I can't afford any buildings. Early turns are so quick. I'm trading with probably anyone that actually likes me. Yeah, because fuck this Skaven. And I'm just conveniently not talking to the Blessed Dread right now because I don't really have anything nice to say to them. I just don't want to be fighting on two fronts right now. I'm going to go ahead and pause it here during this turn. I probably should have been doing that during all the turns. I'm bad and I should feel bad. I'll fix that in editing. Ooh, attack rather than defend, or let's not be reckless. I already have an offensive advantage. I think if it's really hard for them to kill me, that's going to be more of a boon. Not only do they not punish me, this is a much smaller army. They're sending the B team to fight me. That's a little rude, to be honest. I think it would be irresponsible for me not to kill this army, because numbers is their greatest advantage, and fighting off smaller chunks is good. Oh, they're being reinforced by lots of people. However, this is it's technically less than 50% balanced power, but the game doesn't think it's unwinnable for sure. So the big question is, do I have to wait to deal with his artillery? And I think the answer is not easily, because I'm not going to be able to flank them with as many units as they have. And my strength is going to be in funneling them into a small area and nuking them with my wizard. So I think we fuck off here and live to fight another day. We need to have more units and an option to deal with range units, flyers, or something like that. Can I get close enough to colonize this turn? I cannot get close enough to colonize this turn. That's unfortunate. But I'll definitely have enough money. Hey gang, it's Alex. So, you may have noticed that there was a transition there instead of a loading screen. I decided to go ahead and tune out the video whenever we're switching turns. That way, y'all don't have to watch the thing spin by while I have nothing interesting to say. I have a chance to take a drink, and, you know, it's just better form. It's possible that I go back through an editing and try to take out all the other loading screens as well, so if that's been the case, then disregard the past 5 seconds of me talking like an idiot. Like I said, we're learning about a lot of stuff today. Alright, skinks are officially on the cheap. And how do I get stuff for source units? Because I want to do those more. Tablet of the Source. What do I build for you? Sacred Spawning Caverns. I mean, I'm not going to not work on skinks. What's this do? Recruit rank plus a couple. Because there's no reason not to recruit anything, but we're definitely a Saurus focused Lizard folk faction. I think there's at least one that's skink focused. They're going to colonize, but you see how that kind of decimated all my units there? That's why I was hesitant to do that, because I'm technically a little vulnerable. If they came up with that full stack, I might have a bad time. We're going to hope that he doesn't do that. Let's see what we got as far as buildings. Oh yeah, you just have to build a building. Luckily I have enough gold to do that now, and I'm not delayed. My income is much better now, because I got that mine built. These are all good things. And we get to do commandments. So, I'm sorry, for those of you who are new to the game, You have provinces like this, which consists of 3 to 4 cities. The bigger one being the capital. When you control all the cities in a province, which I highly recommend you do every time, it's not going to like break up an alliance, you get commandments. Commandments can be found down here. You have to own all the cities, and all of them provide some sort of an effect. So here I can make all of my local armies better and recruit cheaper. This one helps me against plagues, which is interesting. I'm a little concerned that that's something I have to worry about, and raises my untainted, and it's kind of a defensive one. This one's magic and research focused. And this one's income from all buildings, growth, and public order, which is probably what we're going to stick with, because we need growth. We need to get bigger with this province, and we're going to need to make more money so we can have more problems. Oh, you also notice on lizard folk they have this little bar on the side that is unique to them. That's how strong my geomantic web is. Let me click on this bad boy and look at that. Here's the geomantic web. You'll notice right now it's crap, but that's based on, you can see the line draws to Oxel. That's because Oxel is, how do you pronounce that, the province capital over here. So the more province capitals you build and geomantic pylons you build, the stronger that connection gets, and it makes your edicts more powerful as well as a bunch of other things. You can kind of see that over here. I'm not going to make you read all that. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. Pestilence is a big problem. So, I don't know. We got to be careful with how we engage with them. Because if we attack all the units at once, it's just going to be a problem. My hope is that they either get pulled into fighting against the Dark Elves, who shouldn't like them either, and I can kind of take advantage of that, or I can catch one of their armies out in the open and give them what for. Because my army, I think, honestly would beat any of the armies, including that full stack, if they weren't being reinforced. Just because my units are so much better. But the combination of the garrison, the small stack, and the big stack of their units, it's just too much. Although I am perpetually worried about that artillery, because I have no direct counter, no cavalry units. Aha! See? See how they're in the underway? I'm going to punish that next turn. They're by themselves. They don't have backup. Not only that, they can't run away because they're in the underway. They think they're sneaky, and they're about to get their shit stomped. Oh, my guys won't be 100%. We can still probably take them. I believe in us. I don't know what early units I have to deal with artillery. And, like, it's not like I just automatically lose if I don't deal with the artillery. It'll just incur a ton of casualties that I'm not really willing to deal with, and can potentially swing. Even just one unit can swing the tide of battle. As someone who avidly uses artillery when it's provided, I would know. As far as what to deal with them, you can go wide with cavalry and run them down if they're not being protected. Vanguard deployment units are great for that, as well as any other remote spawning units. Your own artillery, flying units. Something mobile enough to reach out and hit them where it hurts before they can hit you where it hurts worse. And since my strategy is focused on clumping them up and using my wizard as artillery, that means I'm also weak against people who can do massive area of effect damages. I just realized I was talking throughout an entire turn order, but I had stuff to say, so you know what? Probably won't edit this one out if I think about it. Grateful Paragons. What's that do? Hero action costs. That's yet another thing I barely ever do, because it costs a lot of money to maintain heroes, and I don't find that it often is worth it unless they're providing some benefit to your army. Whew. I can't hit them next turn because they're somehow out of my range, and I bet they knew that. In one turn, my guys will be almost full strength. I think I'm going to use about 50% of my movement speed. No, I'll just go right up here. I'll let them know that I'm gunning for them, and hopefully they run away. If they don't, I'll chase them into my territory probably. That'll leave Sabotine open, but I don't know. That might be a risk I'm willing to take. We'll see. I've really got to chip away at their numbers advantage, and getting rid of the small stack is a great start. But yeah, don't have any money to upgrade anything else. Buildings are working. Check the good old diplomacy. Yep, we're still buds. I'm just going to assume that I'm going to continue being buds with you. Worst case scenario, I'll confederate you at some point. So we should consider just being actual buds. Oh. Didn't like that. Military access. Okay, fine. I didn't want to talk to you either. Hey, dwarves.
Honor to your ancestors.
Do you want to join a war against the Skaven yet, or do I not want to talk to you? I tell you what, I'll join a war against Clan Mange, because they're Skaven, so I probably hate them.
Don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? Well, I don't want to talk to you then. Cheese and rice. Alright, viewers. See you in a hot second. Hey, gang. So I discovered an issue with just skipping through other people's turns. Sometimes stuff happens on not your turn. So here we have that group that I was really nervous about trying to catch up by themselves have foolishly moved past me in the underway. So it's asking me if I'd like to intercept them. My units are all about half strength, but that just makes it an even fight, right? Balance of power would disagree. But I especially can't afford to lose too many units this game. Wow, this is almost identical party comp. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one again like this, because I need to get my guys up to full strength as soon as possible. Which means I don't need to be losing a bunch of units because auto-resolve thinks I would. Honestly, if you have the time, play every battle. You will have a much better game experience. Even if it seems like a nuisance, just like the amount of time you won't spend waiting for your units to regen, worth. Oh, this is a weird map. Is this an underway map? This reminds... Yeah, so it's skinny like one, but I see trees. I'm not used to seeing trees in the Dwarven underway. That's one of my favorite places to fight is the Dwarves, because they think that they'd be ambushing me, and I'd be like, surprise. I have artillery and tough units, and you are about to get got. I think these kinds of maps really favor compositions that don't involve skirmishing. They're just slogs, if you will. I'm gonna gamble so we can't get that higher. Because there's not as much room to go around. Yeah, there's not as much room to go around and flank people and do fancy stuff or places to hide. It's pretty straightforward as far as maps go. Yeah, this is just a slightly forested underway. What's the ceiling like? Weird. Oh, I get it. It's where the sun's coming down. So I am definitely benefited by this terrain. As far as what we're going to do, we're going to have our less good units, that is, the guys without shields, kind of form a front line. Some skink boys in the back there to run skirmishes. And I didn't see any large units, so I'm not super worried about where my spears are. We'll just make these equal, protect the flanks. Ugh, not quite level there. We'll fix that in a second. So, you might notice some patterns with my previous deployment strategy. When you don't have cavalry or something like that to defend the flanks, or a lot of units that extend past your missile line, I just put a couple units kind of in reserve back there, and that'll mess them up because when they go to flank the main line, you'll have units there to kind of counterflank them, and they usually don't swing much wider than that. And even if they do, you can have these units redeployed facing that flank and not mess up your main line. There's little things I've learned through playing different versions of Total War. Oh, also grouping. Grouping is very nice, and now that I actually have a sizable amount of units, I'm going to do that real fast. So let's start here. It just means you don't have to click as many places, so I can select my entire front line like this. And so forth. Probably leave your heroes the way they are. There's a hill. So we're just gonna move up here, see where they end up. Using spacebar to see where my units are lined up. And there's not really room for them to flank us, so we're just gonna kind of have reserve dudes back here. And back here. Load the heroes. And we'll quadruple speed this. See what we see. Our units look so freaking cool. I love playing as units with good aesthetics. I mean, I know the stats are what actually affect the game, but it's just cool to be into the units you have on the field. Little skink boys. Yeah, boys. For example, like the Empire is a good example of units I hate the aesthetics of because they just look goofy as hell. I don't know if you've seen them recently, but they're pretty much dorks. And even though they got some okay stats, not so much on the infantry, but especially on the artillery and stuff, it's hard for me to get past the fact that they look like freaking Goombas. Hopefully when I get up on this hill, I will see where the enemy is. Oof. Oof. There's weird stuff going on up there. And once again, I'm not running my units. Don't run your units, run fast forward. Vigor is a big deal, especially in prolonged engagements. And since my numbers are especially low, not trying to push anything. Where the hell are they? Are they all hiding in these woods? They're really gonna make me chase them down, aren't they? Oh! Holy hell. They are all the way back there. Alright. If that's the way we're playing this, we're gonna take this hill. Remember, trees can mess up missile units, so I don't want my skinks to be in there for a long time, but being right on the edge there isn't a big deal. Cue Wackety Sax theme song. Dun, 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 dun. Shields give you bonuses to melee defense, but more importantly, they give you bonuses to range defense. So I recommend getting shields where you economically can. My mainline dudes don't because I don't have the option to, but it's fine. I love how simple the units are. Like, other units, you have to like buy armor for your guys and equipment. These are just good old-fashioned dino guys with like swords. Hand them a big piece of metal with serrated edge and go, there you go, have fun. And they're still one of the best units in the game. Or starting units. Like, I would put up starting lizardfolk units against starting human units any day of the week. High elves would probably give them a run for the money just because they have better ranged options. And like I said, dwarves would be the defensive equivalent. Whereas they're definitely more offensively inclined. But it is what it is. I don't love how Skaven corrupted all of our maps have been. Like, I feel like Krokgar, or whatever my name is, it would be upsetting spaghetti to know that Skaven have been corrupting the old forest as much as they have. Like, that forest we fought in did not look like a rainforest. It looked dead, like this one. This isn't good. It's a good thing we're here eradicating them. Right, my lords, for a second so you get caught up. There's the enemy lines. Waiting for me all nice, like, not trying to take a hill or do anything else advantageous, because why would they do that? Looks like they're just about facing. They put their missiles right in the middle. Interesting. So what's their range like? It's right there. Okay. When I come down right to here, so if they move up, they have to really move up. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tell my skinks to start skirmishing with them. I mean, they'll leave if they get charged, and I can countercharge. And I outnumber their units, their range units. Oh. So I don't see a reason not to do that. And that'll let my infantry kind of scoot into position while they have something else to worry about. So here come the sneaky boys. Gonna throw some javelins. And I'm going to do it at their range units primarily because I'm most concerned about their range units skirmishing me into oblivion. Oh wow, I have to get much closer. There we go. Spears. I think I do more damage though, because I'm throwing whole ass spears. Oh yeah. So that's going on. Other guys getting in position. So I'm probably gonna do. There's their counter charge. Keep my guys in groups of 2. Get my warlord in to fight their general. And get my mage. He's already pretty well positioned. Honestly, like right here, we're gonna blow up their units when we can. Just totally eviscerate their main line of infantry. Boom. Deleted. Have all these units crash over here. That's a big thing. Whenever one of your flanks wins or the center of your line wins, you gotta collapse your units down and see, now I'm flanking these guys and they'll win even faster. It's good stuff. And since they're getting that help, I'm gonna send this help over there. His range on that is gross. Is he just doing that from where he is? He doesn't give a shit. Eviscerated. That is gross. And the fact that it doesn't friendly fire, it's so much better. Oh yeah, they're panicked, they're fleeing. Run down, get off the map. Go ahead and get my wizard in here to cause some fear. I'm out of Winds of Magic. So he shan't be blowing anyone else up, but I think he about did his job as far as that's concerned. Do I have faster speed than them? 31. No, they're faster. Okay. That's how we do it, folks. Like I said, that shouldn't have been a hard battle, but I don't think I lost many units at all. Yeah, I lost 20 dudes, even less than last time. And they had more dudes. 316 kills to the wizard man. Man, he's really making my main leader look like a jackass. He's not doing anything. That is really powerful. So I guess that is why I didn't start with tier 3 units, because that guy is just busted, and normally building wizards, I guess wizards themselves are a tier 3 or 4 unit. But even so, if you look at the normal unit kills, my guys killed a lot more than theirs did. The Singers only got a couple kills on my skinks, and they were just trading fire. Honestly, with that, I think I've got a lot of footage, so I'm probably just going to cut it off there. Once again, my name's Alex, or Some Bad Beat Scrub. Thanks for watching my video. Look forward for more coming out. I'm going to try to do these at least weekly, but we'll see how the schedule goes. The more views and subs I get, the more frequently I can do it. Thanks for watching. Take care.